I operate with forward momentum, and we need to maintain it. So let's talk about this. Matrix Audio. The iMini. All right, hold on. Let me mute it. Oh, the remote. All right, stop. There are two versions of this, and Apo sent it to me. This is the Matrix Mini I Pro 3. Not to be confused with the Matrix Mini i3. We're going to go over the Pro versus the non-Pro features, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to recommend the non-Pro of this, which is $750. And you're like, CS, that's expensive, but we're going to get into it, motherfuckers. This Pro one is $900. That's $750, and you will pay it gladly. 3 headphones on the desk. I've got my Neumann NDH 20s, because, I've got the Harmonic Dyne Zeus, because, and I've got the Drop 5XX, because, I don't know how, they all have different sounds. What do you want from me? Thank God Best of Zeos Pantera has been in retirement for years, because he'd have so much content. And I guess I'll start by answering the question of what the fuck is it, Zeos? And it's a DAC amp. On the very basic level, it's a DAC amp combo. If you want to get a little more into it, it's a DAC amp combo streamer. Are you going to stream with it on this review, Zeos? No. It's hooked up to the internet. It's hooked up to that white wire is a Cat fucking 6E that I built. And I hooked it up, and I got the app on my phone, and it's like connect. And I'm like, connect. And it's like connect. And I'm like, are you going to connect? And it's like, nah. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need you to work right this second for me to fucking endorse this product. So we're just going to back away because Zeos is fucking busy. Why is there so much dust on top of my Rebel amp? Which is actually interesting that the Rebel amp, which should be on for this test. Hold on a second. Never mind, there's no power plug. This is what I would refer to in the audio world as quality. And it's strange because I deal with a lot of brands, you know, Topping, SMSL, Flux Lab shows up. I've done a couple like the Aquila 2 and like those off brands that no one's ever heard of. But Matrix Audio is a brand that I've heard of, but never actually experienced. And I don't want to deal with anybody but Matrix Audio now because it's Weird Al, because I'm a fucking legend. Okay, put that down for a second. Let's lower this. When this is very slow volume control. 37 decibels down, 46 decibels, 62. Oh, I started flying. 107. How far does this go? 107 decibels. I didn't actually know how far down it went. When I unbox this, if you check the unboxing of this, because there's a whole other channel that's just my first impression unboxings of fucking everything, including light bulbs. You light bulb. People are having PTSD because light bulbs, because this house has so many new light bulbs. I understood. Like, I took the box, and the box is like, wow, this is awfully large. You know, for, you know, it's just like you get a Topping or an SMSL box. This isn't like the Flux Labs in here. It's not that big a unit. But it came with this huge box. And it came with all these nice color brochures. And there's even a Rune 6 months free redeem offer thing, which I didn't scratch off because I don't Rune. But I'm sure if you wanted to Rune, you could Rune, because this thing is Rune ready. It's Rune ready. And I'm like, what? And then I pull it out. And the actual... You're going to fall, aren't you? The actual physical unit's like, that screen. That's the glass and the shape and the bottom, and then the actual case and the vent holes. This feels like a piece of audio. Like, first of all, I didn't know the price when I got it. I know Apos was sending me a Matrix Audio thing. I'm like, that's great. I would have guessed this in the $1,500 to $1,800 cost, just for how nice it looks and feels. And then I unboxed the remote, and it doesn't look like much to the naked eye because you people are not touching it. But this is a solid piece of aluminum on top, followed by a very thin, grippy plastic on the back with a little battery compartment here. So it's this thin Very, very, and then around every button, they've machined the angularity of the aluminum. Can you see? Is it sparkling? Are we glinting in the eyes? So you touch it, and it's got these nice silicone buttons that are exactly where the fuck I want buttons. So when you grab a remote, if you could close your eyes and have someone hand you a remote, where your thumb is should be the volume up and down. Volume up and down. And then you got the two nipples on the up and one nipple on the down. So you could, even if you come off of it, you know exactly where you are. I love the design. Like, it's not an estimate. You don't understand. SMSL remotes, topping remotes, even the own remotes. This is enough reason for me to endorse this product, because the remote control is not one of those, and actually it's well thought out and feels fucking quality. Quality. I love the red button for power. I'll go over the remote real quick. We got to talk about the 3.3 inch fucking full fuck you screen that's on this as well. That is just taking all the other companies I deal with to fucking school with what quality audio should feel like and look like and sound like. We haven't even gotten to the sound. I'm so hungry. Oh, that wallpaper. She's dressed as a maid. It's cute. Power, digital inputs. Like, I think this cycles through optical, IIS2V, USB, and coaxial. So either one of that's what this button's for. This one, which is a picture of like a wave, is the line input for giving an analog input. This has an analog input. You know how few DAC amp combos have an analog input? It's fucking insane. Then we have Bluetooth, which I think you can understand what Bluetooth does, and it claims high-end Bluetooth, but I didn't actually go into like the details of like which one. It just says Bluetooth not connected. And the final one down here is a music note in a circle, and that's streaming. And I would love to get this thing streaming. Rune would probably just definitely hook up, but I can't get this thing to connect to my goddamn, like, it's on my network, but I can't get the app to work through it. So I'm sure it's fine. It's just me being like not giving a shit mostly about streaming. Like, I have the Pi 2 AES hat thing, which is like a streaming unit. It's much money, hundreds of dollars less than this, and you have to add your own DAC. But streaming is the other option there. Was the card full? I don't know. It just screamed and died. So back to the remote, because I want to, good energy here. Power, obviously, to just turn it off. It goes click, click. I like when the relays click in series. Like, if I could have my like living room or desk or home theater, and I'm like, hold on, let me just turn that off. And I hit the button, and then you hear just relays clicking one after the other, bigger, smaller. That's a turn on for me as a man. It's like, one more. We get another click. We get another click. I don't think we get another click. That was two at a time. Mute is on top, actually, which I guess is beneficial because it's next to the power button. And the power button, by the way, this red one is just perfectly flush with the fascia of this aluminum plate, where the other ones are just slightly raised. And it's like, this is care and design. So mute, volume up, volume down, and then this one, which looks like a mixer, which is actually just your fast roll-offs. Oh, let me pick this up. I don't have my good white light here because I rolled it over to that desk because I'm trying to force myself to use that desk. But this has been here, and I got the vertical monitor still here. So when this is all done, once I'm done reviewing this, I'm probably going to start dismantling this area and moving over there permanently. But as you can see, brick wall filter, hybrid filter, appetizing filter, fast roll-off minimum, slow roll-off minimum, fast roll-off linear, slow roll-off linear, and then back to brick wall. So that's your filter select. Now, the build quality is perfect. This remote control is perfect. We're going to talk about the sound before I get into the negatives, because there are some negatives, like give me more options, put a VU. Those are like, that's basically it. Balanced out is a 4.4 Pentacon or a 1/4 inch. That's what you get. That's the only thing you get in the front. There's your infrared receiver. There's your outputs. You get this knob. I should probably just show you the screen. You can see there's a little indicator here that says it's glass. The little indicator that says it's connected to the Wi-Fi, or not to the Wi-Fi. The non-pro version, the version I'm going to recommend, does not support Wi-Fi. We're talking about $150 difference between the pro and the non-pro. For $750, if you really want Wi-Fi, you got to spend $150 more. You do get two other options. I checked. to see the actual difference, because it's the exact same power and the exact same DAC. It's just that $150 for the ability to have Wi-Fi is a little bit, it's a little much. Plug that in. When you unplug it, by the way, it switches to the line out, which I currently have the shit Magnus and the Rebel amp hooked up, even though the Rebel amp is currently not plugged in because I'm an idiot. Is it plugged in? Wait a second. It is plugged in. I'm not that big an idiot. Let's plug this in here. Hold on. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Leave me alone. Oh, I'm on streaming. I should probably not be on streaming. Yeah, let's just jump right to the sound quality. This I had it down 107 decibels. Yeah, it sounds like that. The Rebel amp, the Class A dedicated 1 watt per channel Rebel amp that I love and will keep on my desk always, sounds like the Matrix Audio Mini I. Like there's a smoothness to the sound that is not just straight up like, oh, linear, clean linear, A90, L30, THX. There's, I don't want to say soul, but I love soul food, so there's soul food to this. There's something more than just clean. Because clean, apparently 2020, everyone can get clean. Just everyone's clean. You clean, I'm clean, we're all clean. Clean amps, great. Fuck clean amps. So now it's time to turn around and start looking for amplifiers that do better than just accurate audio. That's why tube amps, hybrid tube amps, things like the Rebel amp, which have a little bit of the cutting off the top of the highs, and you can bring it back with the Flux. You want the Flux, you get the Flux amp, which is a Class A in the same country, and that's got to bring it back. Like you're looking for flavors now, because you can get linear, perfectly linear. And I'm not saying this is like equalization going on here, where it's like, there's just something about the sound out of this that reminds me a hell of a lot of the sound out of this. Only this has balanced output. So if I disregard the Neumanns and say plug in this Periapt cable, which thank you Periapt for sending me the cable, in the Zeus, because oh fuck, it's so thick. Now it'll switch to this. Did I pause that? And now it's 2 watts a channel, or 1.9 watts per channel out, which is nearly twice as much as the Rebel amp can do. And we're talking about balanced versus non-balanced. And even though the Flux here has a balanced output, it actually isn't balanced. It's still single-ended. So now we're talking about, those are $500 units. The non-Wi-Fi version of this is $750 and has a baller DAC and has II2S inputs and line inputs and the nicest fucking screen, which is underutilized. It's so pretty. I mean, I was expecting to have to dig through menus, but really when you click this, that's it. You pick your input, streaming, Bluetooth, audio, optical, coaxial. It says it, and then it shows you 44 kilohertz, and there's your beautiful volume control. That's it. That's all it shows you. There's my complaint. I wish it did more. I wish it did more with that screen. I wish it had VUs or could. I mean, when you're connected to the actual streaming, it'll show you your library and you could do some navigation through it. But how do you navigate with this remote? That's another fault of it. It's like, whoa, there's no like up, down, left, right. And I browsed through the manual to like see how you're supposed to do it. And it's like you click and it's like, if you have 10,000 songs and you're streaming, your best bet is not going to be to control it through this. You're going to be on Rune on your phone, and then your phone's going to hook to. So they're expecting that sort of level of commitment to the enjoyment field of the space. But fuck all that. If I break this down to the most simple, basic thing of it's an amplifier, it is a spectacular spectacularly nice to listen to amplifier. Like, I'm pretty sure the Harmonic Dyne Zeus, even with fucking Foo Fighters, which is not well recorded. Well, the beginning is nice. The end's going to be a brick wall of hell. Let me go with the brick wall of hell. Ah! Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Watching the Wildlife. The Hotter remix. Still a brick wall, but yeah, no, this sounds like the Rebel amp, but balanced with more power for 50% more money, and it has a built-in DAC, and its build quality is spectacular. And even there's no negatives that I could like list that should say, "Oh, you don't need to buy this." Oh, but it's pretty, so you shouldn't buy this. Oh, the remote control, the nicest, like the functionally nicest fucking holding remote control ever in a product. You shouldn't buy this. Oh, it's balanced. It's only balanced out. Let me give you real quick before I forget, because these reviews are off the cuff every time, and I don't want to fuck you up. A 24-bit color LCD display, which tells you streaming methods, device configuration, and digital curves. You know, it just says the curve. It just says it. Your music has never looked better. You're underutilizing the screen matrix audio. You could do better. Hardware platform. The only difference between the Pro and the non-Pro is the clock source on the Pro, which is this one, is the Chris Tech CCHD 950. Whereas if you got the non-Pro and saved $150 for the $750 one, you would get an SI Time SIT 8103. Obviously, I have no idea what that means. Moving on, MQA, they'll both do MQA. Only the Pro will do the MQA studio stream. I don't give a flying fuck about MQA. It's basically, if you do the research into it and you see what people have brought up, and I've kind of felt this for a while, but not said it out loud, because I want other people to do the hard work of research for me. But yeah, if you want to have the MQA logo on this, Matrix Audio has to pay the MQA people to put MQA in their device. And you know who else has got to pay the MQA people? Artists that want their shit recorded MQA. Everybody's got to pay. And you want it? Then you're paying for MQA. Everyone's got to pay for MQA, because MQA is, they're doing that thing where they say they're the best. They advertise they're the best. People go, well, it's obviously the best. Bose is obviously the best. I've heard about them in magazines. MQA is obviously the best. And then everyone starts getting into it. It's like, well, wait, why? Like, it took years for us to get to the why MQA. And then everyone's like, because. Fuck you. All right? If I could put a 24-bit uncompressed FLAC and stream that off my computer, that's what the standard should be. Not some special format that needs special formatting and special hardware to decode the specialness if it ain't that special. So that's the second of the thing. And the last thing is you don't get Wi-Fi, you only get wired LAN. So it's still a streaming device. You just don't get the Wi-Fi, the ABGNAC standard, which is in the Mini Pro only. You only get a 10 base T. So that's it. That's the main thing. I mean, real quick, let me read the fucking Rune Ready, DSD, AirPlay. Rune Ready certification is pending, even though it's literally written on this. 1.7 kilograms. So well built. Where's the actual... It does LDAC. It does LDAC fucking Bluetooth. Bluetooth 5 LDAC. Come on. It claims 15 meters, which is longer than most claim. Usually they claim 10. Single-ended output power at 33 ohms is 1.27 watts. Balanced at 33 ohms is 1.9 watts, which is fucking enough. 2 watts is the happy medium. These fucking headphones, I just, because I mean, I love my Rebel amp. I really do. But I've never heard it balanced because it doesn't exist. And that doesn't help because that's not a balance. So this is balanced. Is it Class A? It doesn't say it's Class A, but it motherfucking sounds like it. More Frankie Goes to Hollywood. What is it trying to tell me? I can't believe these are only $350. They were $500 when I got them. I reviewed them and recommended them highly at $500 fucking dollars. And now they're $350 and it's like, well, fuck. Okay, moving on to the 5XX. I think every review now is just going to be a re-review of the things I love. Just so I get an excuse to use them again. So much more airy than these. These are like a heavy, thick cream, and this is like the foam that you whip on top of a cappuccino. They need more power too. I'm at -7.5. Hold on, wait. What, can I pause this? Did my GoPro just freak out and die? Hold on, I gotta check something. Nope. This song has got like instruments being plucked, and the GoPro, when it fails, is like beep beep beep, and I just could have sworn I heard a beep beep beep, just in the background of my mind. I was like, oh god, because if I have the music playing in my headphones and I don't hear it stop, and I go to download it, it's like, where's the back half of this review, or the back 20%, because we're fucking almost done. If I go any farther, see, when I feel like my reviews are getting like a little bit, like maybe I should go a little bit more. That's when I start like really fucking like start grasping at straws to start to recommend things. I want to stop doing that. You all understand by my violent flailing and wallpaper choices how good something is. I would have almost, like, is she tied up? Because that would be even better if she was tied by her own hair. This has redefined what I expect out of equipment. If you don't have anything, if you're first getting into this and you're like, Cios, I want to buy, I have $1,000 to spend on things. Usually my recommendation is spend $750 on headphones, get a $500 set, a $200 set, and a $50 set, and then spend $250 on a little cheap stack, because it's way better to have the choice of headphones. Or you get these and these, or you get these and these. Or actually, that would still come out. That was $500. So you couldn't get that and that. But wow, like, it's confusing my brain, because I just want to listen to things. And the fact that the streamer didn't work like 100%, like easily with the app, and that's probably on me. My fucking phone is just being a nightmare recently. Anyone want to recommend a phone that's not an Apple iPhone for me? These are hard to drive. So I'm at like -3. Balanced -3. These are taking the 2 watts. They're full fuck you watts. How high above 0 does it go? Holy shit. Holy fuck. All right, never mind. So you know how things usually go to 0 and then like plus a little bit? Let me unplug that before I... This goes to +24 over 0. So I mean, I guess 0 is where it's happiest, but you can go so fucking high. I love this thing. This thing is great. And it'll RCA out. I guess I should probably plug into... Oh, I have to change plugs. Shout out to Heart Audio Cables as well as Periapt. As Periapt has got this thick motherfucker going on right now. But if I need... Where's my balanced? Shit, is my balanced cable on the other side of the... No, wait, what's this? There we go. Aha! I want you to be not 4.4 Pentacon, and I want you to be this now. Let's plug you into here. Basically, you buy Periapts for one-offs with really thick wires, and you buy Hearts with the multiple adapter kit if you want to do an amp swap in the midst. Let's see, that's that. What part of unpause do we not get? Ooh. Looks like I leave this here. And then I have to take this out of here and plug it here. You know, I don't usually must spend $700. Like, this officially destroys the need for a topping DX7. Like that was my combo. That was like my high-end combo. The only one that I would probably still pit this against, although this I'm pretty sure would win, is the Aquila 2, which I mentioned earlier. Because that's like a standalone, no-name brand that performed really fucking well with audio, with the headphone outputs, balanced and single-ended, and has a good DAC, and had that really nice, interesting like display. But this, I mean, it doesn't look from afar like a very interesting thing, but once you get into it and you start noticing how well it's built, and it's made in China, obviously, but this is like the nicer part of China. This is made in the ooh fucking section of China. Stand by soon. Turn the knob to cancel. Look at that. Like, it's got an OS. It's just a very basic OS. And it's, if we want to do turn on times, hold on. Let me just do that because Matrix audio, and it's on. I want to thank APOS for sending this to me because you fucking ruined me now. Because this is like the cheapest Matrix audio item. And I've heard of Matrix audio, I just wasn't interested. It's like, yeah, it's another one of those. But just holding this remote control, and I almost want to think it's confirmation bias, because when you think something's going to sound good, it usually does. But I'm way the fuck over that in this channel. Like, I get $1,000 equipment, I'm like, I hope it does something okay. And this is literally like fucking, it's a twice as powerful balanced Rebel amp sound with a DAC built in. And it could do all this other shit. I don't care about MQA, but Rune streaming, unique New York. That alone, you can't buy a DAC that does all the other shit this does to add to the Rebel amp. And then it's fucking good. Let's put it that way. It's fucking good. I'm good. You're good. We're good. I'm done. I've tried the 3 headphones. I could, you stay there, 909s. Do I have an adapter on you? I don't have an adapter on you. You know why? Because I made sure that I had, fuck it. Since I'm linking all cable manufacturers in the entire world, this is a Scable, which is a Viking Weave cable made by the man in my patronage chat whose name is Skedra. And this is silver. And I traded him a DAP I had for 3 cables. And this is silver weaved with red and blue. And I said, don't terminate it in anything. Terminate it in the exact thing the hard audio cables terminate in. So I could do that. So I don't have to keep swapping out for different... what music's playing? Lower, 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 lower. Actually, is this faster? Grumpy Goose headphone stand also. Link Zeus in the description. Cake is great. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gungrave OST. Ah. I can't, like, it's just open headphones and I'm just listening to them. You know, this might be the first time I'm listening to these 909s on this. I'm going to end this review because I need to spend 20 or 30 minutes just verifying that this amp is as good as I think it fucking is. And because if we could run these, then I have a real reason to own one. Because these are very particular. And I usually just don't even, I just give up. So I'm like, I just run them specifically on that one amp that I know works. But I may have to give these the shizot. No. Oh, yeah. Please check out Patreon and Subscribestar if you want to follow this channel. See videos before they come out live to the public. Participate in the yard sales, which when companies send me something that they'd like, hey, or if I buy something like the Magnius, I'm like, great, I reviewed the Magnius, I'm done with that review. Do I need another one on my shelf, or should I just throw it in the yard sale? So from the 1st to the 10th of every month, I sell items that either I've purchased, or companies have sent me without asking for return, or people have donated items just put in the yard sale. Because like, here, I don't need this, take it. So check that out from the 1st to the 10th of every month. Subscribestar or Patreon, doesn't matter, $5 tier gets you into that. If you want to ask me questions on platform, please join the $10 tier with the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, which is filled with people who will help you alongside me, which is fantastic because I checked my Publix ear reviews, which has been a thing since like 2015 or 2016. I've been added like at Zeos Pantera 11,000 times. The patronage chat, which has only been a thing for like a year and a half, I've been added 29,000 times. So if you want my help, that's where it is. And I'm sorry to put a price thing on it, but it's just, it's those people will help you as well as I will. Thank you to APOS for sending this out. Links to all the things. Check out Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guide forum. I need to put those Hi-Fi Guides promos at the beginning because Hi-Fi Guides is like 30,000 consecutive users a day, which is fucking nice for an audio forum, a new one. I think it's because we don't run like a lot of ads. We're going to start maybe doing a little dabbing into either AdSense or having sponsors that we put on there. Like, I wouldn't mind if APOS sponsored a fucking tag on it. Fucking, they're sending me shit anyway. What's the difference? As long as they're not pushing stupid shit, I'll be like, no expensive wires, boy. None of it. I can't do the finger thing like hard enough. Or like, so yeah, Hi-Fi Guides, Subscribestar, Patreon, merch. I have merch. No one knows about that. I don't make any money on merch because I don't promote it. It's in the description. It's just my big logo. It's my logo on things. If I can find artists that are willing to do some work for that, I'm willing to pay commissions for that shit. What kind of merch would you like to see? If you've made it this far into the video, no one comes to the end of the end. No one stays for the end of the end. What kind of merch do you want to see? You're the special people. And obviously the wallpaper is available in the description as well. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I try to keep this a short video, but shit happens. Oh, John Wick OST. Oh.